Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on this historic occasion. My name is William P. Bradford II, and it is my honor to guide you through today's installation ceremony of Dr. Susan M. Donovan. We've been listening to "Oh Clap Your Hands," composed by Rafe Vaughan Williams and performed by the Bellarmine Oratorio Society and the University Singers with the Bellarmine Brass and organist Stephen Black, conducted by Dr. Timothy Glasscock. This week, we've enjoyed many activities as part of Dr. Donovan's inauguration festivities. Everything from student service projects, a carnival, and a lunch, and service projects with our pioneer scholars, to an alumni event at the Muhammad Ali Center, and a Garney Shelley lecture with NPR's Ari Shapiro. We've honored scholarship, creativity, and research. We've saluted our history. We've honored our core campus values by encouraging and engaging in community service, collecting food for Dare to Care, and serving food for the Franciscan Kitchen. This afternoon, we're gathered for the culmination of all these activities and the observance of one of the Academy's most ancient and solemn ceremonies, the installation of a new president. Let us begin. The tradition dates back to the Middle Ages and is rooted in the Catholic faith. A procession of scholars. Our processional is "Come Ye Sons of Art" by Henry Purcell. This music was written and first performed in 1694 for the birthday of Queen Mary II of England. To begin the ceremony, the procession is led by Grand Marshal Dr. Mustafa Ali, carrying our flags with our core values of hospitality, illumination, inspiration, and Merton spirit are representatives from each of our undergraduate classes. A graduate student is carrying a red flag of the Ursuline Sisters with the inscription "Soli Deo Gloria," translated by the Ursulines as Be glory to the only God. Ursuline College and Bellarmine College merged in 1968, making the much stronger institution that we celebrate today. Marching in front is an alumni representing the Ursuline College alumnae and a Bellarmine alum from each graduating class. Rounding out this section are our association delegates. Official delegates of colleges and universities. Dr. Byron Robinson, the University of Louisville. Dr. Susan DeBerry Cole, Miami University, Ohio. Tori Merton McClure, Spalding University. Dr. John A. Rausch, Centre College. Dr. James M. Dennis, McKendree University. Julie Greer Anderson, Georgetown College. Linda S. Medley, Midway College. Dr. Richard T. Satterley, Manhattan College. Dr. Susan R. Garrett, Louisville Presbyterian Theological Seminary. Dr. Ashley D. Anderson, Berea College. Gregory A. Wills, Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. Anne Fink, Boston College. David V. Haupt, University of Kentucky. Dr. Xavier Cole, Marquette University. Dr. M. Christopher Brown II, Kentucky State University. Joseph P. Donahue, University of Scranton. Dr. William T. Luckey, Jr., Lindsey Wilson College. Anthony Rizzo, Western Kentucky University. Dr. Elena Bove, Loyola Marymount University. Dr. Brian Reynolds, Fairfield University. Thomas A. Quick, Lemoyne College. Tara Parker, Brescia University. Greg C. Dilger, Northern Kentucky University. Next processing are the Bellarmine University faculty and staff, followed by the Bellarmine University deans and vice provost. Representing Bellarmine University's strong leaders are members of the Women's Council, the Alumni Board of Directors, and the Board of Overseers, followed by the senior officers of the university. We now have the platform party, beginning with the individuals who are bringing greetings, followed by the Bellarmine University trustees, the mace bearer, Dr. Evanthea Speliotis, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Bill Mudd, and Dr. Susan M. Donovan. The invocation will be offered by Dr. Melanie Prejean-Sullivan, Director of Campus Ministry.
Will you all bow your heads with me and join in prayer? Holy and immortal one, God of mercy and compassion, God of wisdom and energy, God of new beginnings, we invoke your holy presence today on these inauguration proceedings as we celebrate and look forward to the next steps on the Bellarmine University journey. We ask that your loving spirit be upon us in the tradition of our 11th century academic ancestors at Bologna, Cambridge, Oxford, and the Sorbonne. They created these ceremonies to mark such an auspicious occasion. We acknowledge with gratitude how often we have been blessed in our 67 years with gifted students, brilliant colleagues, thoughtful mentors, generous benefactors, and wise leaders. We know we have such a wise leader in Susan M. Donovan, so we assemble to welcome her officially and publicly as we ask your spirit to be upon her and her family today and all days. Firmly grounded in the Catholic academic heritage, we are acutely aware of the richness which brought us to the diversity of faith traditions here and the presence of those from many institutions throughout our world. Today, we are united as the Bellarmine University family, where together we pray in one voice for you to be with us as we live and grow in veritatis amore. Amen.
Dr. Timothy Glasscock will now sing the Star-Spangled Banner, arranged by Richard Burchard and accompanied by the Bellarmine Brass.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, of the brave.
Please be seated. Dr. Donovan. In keeping with the custom, representatives of the university's constituent groups and the mayor of Louisville are bringing greetings as they wish you well in the years to come. First, on behalf of the students, is the Student Government Association President, Leah Mudd.
Good afternoon, everyone. As president of the Bellarmine University Student Government Association, it is an honor to bring greetings for Dr. Donovan on behalf of Bellarmine's bright, diverse, and multi-talented student body. Since the announcement of Dr. Donovan's arrival in the spring, students have been waiting with positive anticipation. The student body welcomed Dr. Donovan with open arms, personifying the meaning of hospitality. Her commitment to the students is unwavering. Dr. Donovan, we welcome you with open hearts and open minds, and we pledge our support. Thank you.
Ms. Lynn Bynum, Bellarmine's Chief Human Resources Officer, brings greetings from the university staff.
Good afternoon. Dr. Donovan, I am honored to bring greetings on behalf of all of the university staff members. We are committed to providing professional administrative support to the entire community, to creating a beautiful campus and a sense of home for our students, and to the pursuit of excellence in everything we do. With Bellarmine's hallmark hospitality, we welcome you and we look forward to supporting your leadership. Thank you.
Professor Joseph Flipper of the Bellarmine Theology Department brings greetings from the faculty.
Welcome, Dr. Donovan. I bring greetings from the entire faculty of Bellarmine University. We're committed to excellence, academic freedom, and diverse perspectives. We seek to foster a thoughtful, informed consideration of serious ideas, values, and issues, time-honored and contemporary, to benefit the public interest, to help create the future, and to improve the human condition. Welcome, Bellarmine.
Mr. Ernest Marshall, a Bellarmine alumnus, trustee, and co-chair of the Presidential Search Committee, brings greetings from a Bellarmine alumni.
Hello, everyone. This is a celebration. Hello, everyone. All right, let's act like that. As an alumnus, a trustee, and co-chair of the Presidential Search Committee that unanimously selected you, I believe wholeheartedly in our future together. It is as if you and our community already knew each other and the truly important things about each other on the very first day. And that's because we share the same Jesuit values and commitment to inclusivity through community engagement. Now, as a member of the search committee, Dr. Donovan, we interviewed a lot of people. You were called to be here. And for those of you who don't know what it means to be called to be here, it's that moment in time, because she could have put herself out there for presidential selection numerous times. I'm off script, I know. But when you're called to do something, that means that intersection point when your purpose aligns with the purpose of something else, those things come together at just the right moment. Dr. Donovan was called to be at Bellarmine University, so we're thankful for that. And on behalf of the Bellarmine alumni and alumnae, we wish you well and pledge our absolute support to your success.
The Honorable Greg Fisher, Mayor of Louisville, brings greetings from our local government.
Good afternoon, everybody. President Donovan, as Mayor of Louisville, it is my pleasure to officially welcome you to our compassionate city, where the university's close friend, Thomas Merton, had his famous epiphany in 1958 at 4th and Walnut Streets. Bellarmine is emerging for the regional city of Louisville as a preeminent private university of significant size and stature. It is creating more competitive and stimulating academic environment, turning out more graduate and professional degrees, producing entrepreneurs and inspirational leaders. It is attracting top-level talent to our city. President Donovan, you are a case in point. Bellarmine not only impacts our city's economic development, it transforms our culture, our character, and our personality by cultivating compassion in the inclusive spirit of Thomas Merton. When Bellarmine is thriving, so is Louisville. I look forward to many productive partnerships in the months and years ahead. Welcome.
Frederick Smock of the Bellarmine University English Department is Poet Laureate of Kentucky. Having been appointed to this position by the governor, Professor Smock has written a poem in honor of our new president to help us commemorate this important milestone in our history. The poem is entitled Luminary for Susan Donovan and is published in your program. Professor Smock will read this original work now.
A poem commissioned for this event, the inauguration of Dr. Susan M. Donovan as Bellarmine University's fourth president. Its title is Luminary. It's in 3 short parts. Luminary for Susan Donovan. 1. The moon appears in my window as a beautiful stranger whose mood I cannot guess. She drifts with the night, resplendent in her solitude. 2. How like a beacon is the illuminated window, even mine, I suppose, though I sit alone, reading, expecting no one. 3. The scholar abides in her chamber, reading with delicate eyes and the fingers of a goldsmith. Resplendent in her solitude, she is a light unto the world.
Professor Richard Burchard is Bellarmine University's composer in residence. He has composed a piece of music in honor of our new president to help us commemorate this important occasion. The work is entitled To Music and is being performed by the Bellarmine Oratorio Society and University Singers with the Bellarmine Wind Ensemble and pianist Mimi Tunnell, conducted by Dr. Timothy Glasscock. A traditional part of the installation ceremony is a message from a close associate of the President. To be asked to perform this role is a very special honor. This person is someone who has been a mentor, confidant, and friend to the President, and who has helped shape her career. Dr. Donovan has invited the Reverend Brian F. Lenane, President of Loyola University, Maryland, to serve in this role. He is a moral theologian who has transformed Loyola during his 13 years as president. Father Lenane.
President Donovan, Mayor Greg Fisher, Chairman of the Board Bill Mudd, Bellarmine trustees, distinguished guests, and all gathered here today, good afternoon. I am delighted and honored to be here to celebrate the new president of Bellarmine University, Dr. Susan M. Donovan. I am really deeply, very much, deeply touched by this honor and by Susan's position here at your university. Mr. Marshall mentioned, I'm going off script now too. Mr. Marshall mentioned in his remarks about the search committee, and it is the case that in recent years, a number of institutions have come forward and sought Dr. Donovan's leadership. And each time as president who relied on her, I would cringe a little. And then as the process went on, she'd say, you know, Brian, I'm not sure this is the right fit for me. And I'd say, yes, good. And last year she said, this is, there's a school I like very much, I'm very interested in. If it doesn't work this year, I'm just going to stay at Loyola. And I said, Susan, that's not a bad thing. That can be good. And it was sort of like watching a love affair develop. And I knew that this was going to be it, and I knew that it would be a perfect place for her. She asked me early on if I knew of Bellarmine University. I do. I have high esteem for you, and I have enormous respect and esteem for Dr. Donovan. She is an extraordinary administrator, an extraordinary leader, a visionary, and a person of great kindness and compassion. Very often we don't remember the first, and I was thinking, Susan, that 12 years ago when I was in your seat and my friend got up to give the address, I said, what's she going to say that will embarrass me? What's the story she will tell? My story actually embarrasses me. So it was not an auspicious beginning. I met Susan, Dr. President Donovan, 17 years ago when I joined the Board of Trustees at Loyola, then Loyola College. The first time our paths crossed was at a dinner for new trustees. The big dinner, a lot of people, administrators, all the trustees, faculty, and the like, and I didn't really know anybody. And as the evening went on, I found myself having an extensive conversation with a member of the faculty, Dr. Bill Donovan. We enjoyed a wonderful conversation. Bill is very interested in the history of the Society of Jesus. He knows a lot of Jesuits. It was one of those conversations that I really enjoyed in a room where I really didn't feel I knew very many people. As we were getting our coats to go home from the club back to the university, Dr. Donovan came over and she said, hello, Brian, I'm Susan Donovan. And I said, oh, Bill's wife. And she said, yes, very humbly. And as I was driving home with the president of the university at that time, Father Hap Ridley, I said, I met this really great faculty member, knows a lot about the Jesuits, and it was nice that you invited faculty members' wives, too. That was really nice. And Father Ridley turned to me and said, you idiot. It was then I discovered that I should have recognized that Susan was the vice president for student development and her husband was there as her guest. I may have underestimated her during that first interaction, but I assure you, I have never made that mistake again. Over the years, as a trustee and then as president of Loyola University, Maryland, I found myself turning to Susan again and again for her insight, her knowledge, and her incredibly sound judgment. Through her work every single day, Dr. Donovan demonstrated tremendous compassion for each member of the Loyola community, particularly our students. And I was thinking of this morning at Mass when I saw Caitlin and Megan, Susan and Bill's daughters. And I remember when they were little girls, and we were at a basketball game one night, and they were about 8 or 9, and it occurred to me, I wonder what they thought their mother did for a living. Because it was easy to understand that their father was a teacher, albeit with big kids. So Megan and Caitlin were running around getting refreshments or something, and I said, Susan, what do the girls think that you do at Loyola? And she laughed and said, I asked them that a couple of years ago. They think I take care of the sick students. Which, in fact, she did. And whenever there was a student who was sick or injured, Susan would be the first at the hospital, and was a presence of warmth and caring and calmness for many, many times while leading a visionary student development operation where the students really have engaged with the resources of the university to become ethical leaders. When I took a sabbatical from my role at Loyola during the fall semester of 2015, I did so without a moment's hesitation or concern, knowing that I was leaving Loyola in the best possible hands, Dr. Donovan's. That semester happened to be one that was full of challenges and indeed change for our university. But Dr. Donovan led, as she always does, with quiet strength, a commitment to our community, and a vision for positioning our university well for the future. Now it's your turn to meet Dr. Susan Donovan, and somehow I know you won't view her as only Bill's wife, but as an exceptional leader with a heart for service and a vision for the future. I imagine you can already recognize in her that she is the right person to lead Bellarmine through this exciting next chapter of its wonderful history. You can probably see how she lives out the cura personalis, or care for the whole person, the approach to education that both Loyola Maryland and Bellarmine University embrace. As a Jesuit, I find it interesting that although Bellarmine University is not a Jesuit university, it was named for a Jesuit saint. St. Robert Bellarmine is a great Jesuit saint, and he was a cardinal who in 1950, when Bellarmine University was founded, had then been named a doctor of the church. During conversations about a name for this new college, now university, his name quickly rose to the top. Robert Bellarmine was born 475 years ago in Italy, and in 1560, he joined a very new Society of Jesus. He was a renowned scholar who was also known for his excellent service. But he was also known as a staunch believer in the doctrine of the time, nulla salus extra ecclesiam, no salvation outside the church, that is, the Roman Catholic Church. He was a staunch believer that an individual who wasn't baptized Catholic had no chance at eternal life. At the time Bellarmine was founded, right after the war, there had been a great integration in our society, interaction among persons of various religions. Soldiers of the Catholic, the Protestant communities, and Jewish communities all fought together side by side and developed deep friendships and bonds. And the idea that these persons were not eligible for salvation was troubling and led to many conversations about the wisdom of this tradition. And what did the Catholic Church do? It reinforced it and made Bellarmine a doctor of the church. And again, in a time in a southern city of Catholics and Protestants, did something the same by lifting Bellarmine up. Now, Bellarmine stood for much more, and I think that needs to be highlighted. He stood for much more than nulla salus extra ecclesiam. His legacy inspires and touches us still today, particularly here at this university that bears his name. For through all his teaching and writing and study, he led a life of holiness. He held a deep conviction that knowledge helps individuals attain greater purpose and can connect them more fully with God. He knew that what we do with our time on earth is important, particularly in preparing us for the life that comes after this life. He reminds us that the greatest lesson we can learn is love for one's neighbor. I quote, "On the last day, when the general examination takes place, there will be no question at all on the text of Aristotle, the aphorisms of Hippocrates, or the paragraphs of Justinian. Charity, love, will be the whole syllabus." The idea that salvation could only be earned or merited through the Catholic Church has, of course, changed over the years, and indeed completely rejected by the Second Vatican Council. As a part of that, the divisions between Catholics and Protestantism and Catholics and other religions has become far less pronounced. The Catholic Church began to promote a more ecumenical view and celebrate the common threads through different religions, even those beyond Christianity. More than 50 years later, that approach is still important and vital, and interfaith dialogue continues. If you'll permit me to juxtapose Thomas Merton, also associated with this great university, whose papers are housed here at Bellarmine, with St. Robert, it's interesting to note that with his deep faith and openness to the world, Merton, a Trappist monk, added an important perspective, encouraging people to seek the good that exists all around us in each and every person that we encounter. Mayor Fisher mentioned the epiphany, or the really mystical moment that Merton had at a shopping trip, walking down when suddenly he realized he loved everyone, and that there are no barriers to divide us, and that God sees in us and loves each one, sees in us the person of Jesus Christ and loves us for that, whether or not we know Jesus Christ or not. Merton's monastic career brought him into the encounter with Eastern monasticism and Buddhism. And he believed that encounter with monasticism, not only of different denominations, but of different religions, was uniquely enriching and brought much to the table, and there was much that Christian Trappist monks could learn from Zen Buddhism, and that they could learn from them. And in fact, he died suddenly while attending an international conference in Bangkok that celebrated these disciplines and these opportunities for ecumenical dialogue and life-giving conversation. Merton's philosophy presents a model for what today's Catholic university should be, a philosophy that Bellarmine has plainly embraced by being profoundly open to the perspectives of others. A Catholic university should be a place where faith can grow, all faiths, where each individual can achieve his or her fullest potential, and where, as Robert Bellarmine reminded us hundreds of years ago, learning how to love and to serve one another is the whole syllabus. Today at our Catholic universities, we can and should build on that approach. While recognizing the value of faith and scholarship that Robert Bellarmine embraced, we can also work to cultivate a more welcoming and inclusive community on our campuses, a community that Thomas Merton worked to promote through his writings. Our heritage, our intellectual journey, after all, is only enriched by that openness, by that conversation, and by that exchange of ideas and perspectives that is at the heart of a faith-based education. As Merton said, you do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it is all going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities and challenges offered by the present moment and to embrace them. with courage, faith, and hope. Today, as we stand here at Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky, you are facing a wealth of possibilities. The future is wide open. You have a new president, and you couldn't find one who is more talented, more committed to the mission, more committed to helping every student succeed, and more driven to position Bellarmine University for the future. With President Susan Donovan as your leader, Bellarmine University is posed for the next extraordinary chapter in its truly great history. Don't underestimate all Susan Donovan can achieve as president. Don't underestimate all that Bellarmine University can achieve under her leadership. And don't underestimate, I beg you, don't underestimate at all that you can do to help President Donovan and Bellarmine in this historic moment and in the years ahead. Congratulations, President Donovan, and congratulations to every member of the Bellarmine University community. God bless each and every one of you.
It is now my privilege to introduce the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Bellarmine University, Bellarmine alumnus from the class of 1993, Mr. Bill Mudd, to perform an installation ceremony.
Thank you. Dr. Donovan, please rise. By the virtue of the authority of Bellarmine University, and by direction of the Board of Trustees, I place over your shoulders the seal of Bellarmine University, the symbol of the high office you now hold. I commit to you the mace of Bellarmine University, the symbol of the authority vested in you by the Board of Trustees as president of this great institution. I now present to you the fourth president of Bellarmine University, Dr. Susan M. Donovan.
Go forth. Chairman Mudd, members of the Bellarmine Board of Trustees, I am honored and humbled, and also energized that you have entrusted me today with the responsibility of leading this great institution of higher learning into the future. Talented faculty and staff, I am deeply grateful for the hospitality and support that you have extended to me and my husband Bill and our family since the beginning of our work together. Students, you are the reason. You are the ones. Thank you for showing the world the Bellarmine night in you this week with the service projects. Alumni, parents, members of the Bellarmine family, and the Louisville community, thank you for your easy fellowship. Colleagues from so many other distinguished colleges and universities, Mayor Fisher, thank you all for wishing me well. Father Lenane, my friend and mentor, thank you for such kind words. You've always boosted my self-confidence, and now is a definitely a welcome time for that. And members of my family, and my extended family, and my friends, and especially my sister and brother-in-law and niece. I know that you know how much it means to Bill and Caitlin and Megan to have you here with us today in our new home. This morning, many of you attended the Inauguration Mass at Mount St. Agnes. It was a beautiful celebration of faith and learning, which when you think about it, it is a good way to describe the promise of our life and community at Bellarmine University, a celebration of faith and learning. In fact, we sang that hymn this morning that was aptly entitled, Praise the Source of Faith and Learning. And as I sang, the lyrics struck me as an expression of the heroic purpose and the unique value of a liberal arts education in the Catholic tradition. The words seem to illuminate Bellarmine's own Latin motto, in veritatis amore, in the love of truth. The second verse of the hymn says, God of wisdom, we acknowledge that our science and our art and the breadth of human knowledge only partial truth impart. Far beyond our calculation lies a depth we cannot sound, where your purpose for creation and the pulse of life are found. These words, written by Thomas Troger of the Yale Divinity School and set to the tune of the Welsh hymn, Hyfrydol, evoke not just the compatibility of faith and reason, but the necessity of nurturing both in our lives. It is the perfect hymn for a university like ours, a university teaching at the intersection of the liberal arts and professional studies, and rooted in the Catholic educational tradition, because the lyrics go straight to the heart of our added value. Our bright students come to us from all faith traditions and no faith tradition. Our faculty and staff are determined to impart on these young people science and art and the breadth of human knowledge. And we are determined to teach them how to create new knowledge for humankind. But also, yes, we impress upon them the importance of faith, of spiritual life, of ethical behavior, of developing and maintaining a coherent and grounded interior life of honesty, integrity, and compassion. Our faculty, our students, our graduates, go forth from here with faith and learning to make the world a better place. This Inauguration Week, our students mark the occasion by demonstrating these values with a variety of community service projects. They collected canned goods for Dare to Care. They delivered 123 blankets and pillows to Norton Children's Hospital. And tomorrow, they will prepare and serve meals with me at the Franciscan Kitchen, which provides about 400 meals a day to the hungry and the homeless. Explore the world, start within. And so we help our students find their purpose in the pulse of life. Explore the ultimate questions and search for truth, wherever that search may lead. On a college campus, young people grow up. What kind of adults will they be? At Bellarmine, our mission is to help students develop the intellectual, moral, ethical, and professional competencies so they will go forth into the world with successful living, work, leadership, and service to others. In our mission statement, the words moral and ethical are right there with intellectual and professional. In today's world, we need the smartest person in the room to also be a good person. Seeing to that outcome is a mission worthy of our dedication and our life's work. We hear many vocal critics of higher education these days, but they like to challenge us with the question, is college worth it? It is a question that seems to dominate the media and public imagination. Popular criticisms include that college costs too much, that a liberal arts curriculum is no longer relevant because it doesn't match the needs of the workforce, and that college campuses are bastions of liberal political thought that exclude competing views. And in the most time-honored cliche of all, they say we live in an ivory tower. Those of us who are devoting our hearts and minds to educating university students accept valid critiques. We tend to be open-minded, and we are critical thinkers. We need to maintain our passion for continuous improvement. And we do need to find ways to make college more affordable. But we also do a better job we need to do a better job defending the liberal arts against the anti-intellectualism that too often dominates our culture. Yes, excellent private liberal arts colleges are expensive, including those like Bellarmine that educate 40% first generation and 30% Pell-eligible grant students. But we know the investment in college pays off. College graduates earn an average $1 million more over the course of their work lives than high school graduates do. So at Bellarmine, we counsel families individually and try to help them meet their needs with a $55 million institutional financial aid budget and every year so that they can afford to make the wise investment in a Bellarmine education. More importantly, we educate leaders with a sense of gratitude and compassion. As for meeting workforce needs, it is well documented that training in narrow skills that will quickly become obsolete does not afford the same job security as a liberal arts education does. The data prove that graduates from schools like Bellarmine are better prepared for long-term professional success. Liberal arts graduates disproportionately outnumber others in leading fields like business, the arts, and government. Only about 2% of the American baccalaureate degrees are granted in the liberal arts, but they are 11% of the ranks of the Fortune 500 leaders, 12% of Philanthropy 400 leaders, and 12% of the US Senate. In a survey of 320 CEOs, 74% said they would recommend a 21st century liberal arts education to develop more dynamic workers. Of course, a liberal arts education is not just about making a good living, it's also about making a good life. People who understand scientific inquiry, who appreciate literature and the performing arts, who know how to synthesize information, who think critically and creatively, who know how to collaborate with others and communicate ideas effectively. These are the people who build strong families, strong communities, and a strong culture, as well as an innovative workplace. As for the charge that college campuses are dominated by the liberal end of the political spectrum, I guarantee that you will not find a wider variety of competing thoughts and philosophies across a broader range of issues and ideas than you will find on a college campus, including this one. The idea that teachers and learners remain cloistered in the ivory tower, out of touch with the real world, is the most preposterous charge of all. Our higher education enterprise is idealistic and intensely pragmatic. Our faculty members, our staff, and our students put their faith and learning to work in everyday life, in the community at large, in education, business, health sciences, in communications and environmental studies. We go forth with faith and learning to make the world a better place. For example, in education, Bellarmine goes forth with its literacy project within the Jefferson County Public Schools, giving teachers and principals proven tools to lift children out of poverty. This project involves about 60 Jefferson County Public School elementary students with the greatest number of children at risk of reading failure, and trains the 500+ teachers and principals who serve them. As a result of this Bellarmine project, in its third year, up to 12,000 children will benefit from the evidence-based literacy instruction in grades K through 3 during the 2016-17 year and beyond. This is in addition to the 16,000 children who have already benefited in years 1 and 2 of the project. In business, Bellarmine goes forth with social entrepreneurialism and creative economic solutions to urban problems. One professor volunteers at a state prison, teaching life skills and leading a non-denominational worship service for inmates. Another helps students become IRS certified tax preparers, and they provide free tax services. This year, 200 low-income clients, saving them $40,000 in tax preparation fees and generating $298,600 in refund money. A third faculty member will take students to the Louisville Urban League this year to analyze data and help them understand and communicate the community impact of their social service programs in health, housing, education, jobs, and justice. In health sciences, Bellarmine goes forth into the community to heal through the Michael Hobbs Service Learning Clinic, the nation's first endowed physical therapy clinic, and 3 other pro bono clinics throughout the community, including a pediatric clinic for infants through 8-year-olds with neurological conditions such as cerebral palsy and spina bifida. The physical therapy program also collaborates in a dance therapy program to reduce symptoms for people with Parkinson's disease. And students and faculty in physical therapy, nursing, exercise science, and medical laboratory science collaborate in an active steps program for people with diabetes in the West Louisville neighborhood in Park de Valle. And for the environment, and in line with Pope Francis' Laudato Si', the encyclical on the environment, faculty members serve on the boards of local and statewide conservation groups, including Kentucky Interfaith Power and Light and the Kentucky Conservation Committee, while students and faculty members share their expertise with the community through K through 12 school visits, service projects, and consultations for sustainable neighborhood planning. Students rebuild local wetlands, and a student-led food recovery network gathers perishable campus food that would otherwise go to waste and provides it to community agencies who feed the homeless. In communications, Bellarmine partnered with WaterStep and the Louisville Rotary Club so that people around the world could have better instructions for water purification. In connection with the service learning trip to Costa Rica, faculty and students designed wordless instruction manuals that eliminate all language barriers so that people anywhere can learn how to clean contaminated water by following the pictures. I could keep you here all day with examples of our community engaging in community service, but I'm not going to. Suffice it to say that Bellarmine University students, faculty, and staff go forth into the world with faith and learning, performing more than 24,000 hours of community service each year. And our alumni continue to live lives of leadership and service after they graduate. A husband and wife team who met as students at Bellarmine raise thousands of dollars each year for a food pantry in Appalachia, then lead about 30 alumni every year on an annual service trip to do home repairs for the families in need. A Bellarmine double major in theology and psychology has led emergency response programs all over the world for Catholic Relief Services. An education major operates the Dream Express bookmobile to promote literacy and to give children in poverty circumstances an escape from their lives and a view of a life they would not ordinarily see. Far from being out of touch with the real world, Bellarmine University and its graduates are deeply engaged in society, working to improve the human condition. And we will not back away from our responsibility toward our neighbors, our city, the region, and the world. We will intensify our commitment. We will provide an anchor in the storm of indifference and a beacon of light for our fellow human beings at the margins. This university on the Hill will continue to serve as a community of teachers and learners who understand that the liberal arts professional and graduate education are the keys that open doors for every person with a Bellarmine education. Bellarmine was founded in 1950 by Monsignor Alfred F. Horrigan, well known and respected as a parish priest and a human rights activist. Father Horrigan put the school in the vanguard of the civil rights movement in the 1950s and 60s, and it will proudly and diligently remain there. In 1973, a physicist by training, Dr. Eugene Petrick, became Bellarmine College's second president. Enrollment was declining, and the college was in dire financial straits. Dr. Petrick re-energized the college, expanded its academic programs, and built it into one of the region's leading private colleges. Mrs. Petrick is here with us today. We will proudly and diligently build on that legacy of financial acumen and stewardship too. Then, in 1990, Dr. Joseph J. McGowan brought his Jesuit sensibilities and his New York City street smarts from Fordham to Bellarmine. His Vision 2020 resulted in an explosion of growth that included myriad new academic programs and a construction boom, the likes of which this university had never seen. He served for 26 years, and he was the epitome of a transformational president. He died unexpectedly in March 2016, shocking this community. I know that the celebration of his life at St. Agnes was a cathartic milestone in the history of this place. And I know that the interim president, Dr. Doris Taggart, helped the community heal. Today, here we are in Knights Hall, gathered for another ceremonial moment in our family history. Where will we go next? We will need to build the endowment, one of the most important measures of a university's strength and resilience, and a vital prerequisite for making college more affordable. We will need to review our graduate and professional curriculum to make sure we are offering programs that are mission-driven, strategic, and market-sensitive. We will look for ways to reduce costs, increase revenue, and reallocate resources consistently within our mission. Opportunities for continued growth and improvement abound. We will seize them. And we will continue to go forth into the community with faith and learning to make the world a better place. Soon, the Bellarmine community will engage in a strategic planning process that will chart the course for the next 7 to 10 years. I believe in shared governance. This will be a broadly collaborative process. It will be thoughtful and disciplined. Given the intellect and creativity here and the pursuit of excellence in Bellarmine's DNA, I feel certain that our aspirations will be numerous and impressive, requiring difficult choices as we set out our priorities with finite resources. But I have learned already that we are not in this alone. Our parents, our alumni, our donors, our friends are generous, and they are with us for the long haul. We would not be here today without them, and we cannot get to where we need to go without them either. We are fortunate and blessed to work in higher education. We are fortunate and blessed to work on this beautiful campus with each other and our talented students. We are committed to our mission and to the good of this place, where faith and learning flow together. In the words of this morning's hymn, as two currents in a river fight each other's undertow, till converging they deliver one coherent, steady flow. Blend, O God, our faith and learning, till they carve a single course, till they join as one, returning praise and thanks to you, the source. I conclude with my gratitude to my husband and my daughters to make the move from our life in Baltimore, and with a special sense of gratitude for the people who are not here, my parents, who have passed but believed in an education for their children. And I go forth with the inspiration that they have given me, and you as well. In veritatis amore.
Thank you, President Donovan. The Bellarmine Schola Cantorum will now perform for you our alma mater. The words were written by Dr. Joseph J. McGowan, and the piece has been arranged by Richard Burchard.
In the city on
Father John Poi Atuparambil, the campus minister, will deliver the benediction.
Let's take a moment of silence to thank God for this wonderful gift that we have in person of Dr. Susan Donovan. Almighty loving God, God of many names, you are the source of all truth. Today we have gathered as your diverse family to celebrate this new moment together in the life of Bellarmine University. We ask you to bless Dr. Susan M. Donovan, her visions and hopes. Bestow upon her a wisdom that endures, an energy that renews, and a sense of justice that is reflective and steadfast. Bless Dr. Donovan's loving family, her daughters, Megan and Caitlin, especially her husband, Bill. Continue to embrace them with abundant patience and understanding. May they enjoy a true sense of home at this place. Bless this community of scholars who share and teach treasures of knowledge. Bless all students, past, present, and future. May their spirits always be promising and creative. Bless all who make Bellarmine as beautiful and perfectly unique as it is. Bless those who care for the grounds, those who tend its structure. Bless all those who nurture the body, mind, and spirit. Amen.
Thank you for being part of this special day in the Bellarmine 67-year history. Please remain seated until the recessional is complete.